What's up? This is Hubs Caps with the Hubs Caps Tech Baron channel. Today we're going to be talking about the Motorola XTS 5000 P25 APCO and analog FM radio. This particular version is an 866 megahertz version. It has the proper flash code 4866 and is in really good condition. So like these usually are, beat to shit and then retired, but this one's actually pretty good. It has an aftermarket battery. It does not have an Impress smart battery. Works fine. I don't have a problem with it. So I wanted to do a really quick tutorial on the menus and how to properly use the radio and what certain things do, and just simple things like that. Every person's XTS is going to be different because most of the buttons and FPP and the selection buttons are programmable. So even these buttons over here are programmable. Like everything is programmable about this radio, and it's programmed with a JTAG connector right there, and there's a flash port also in the back of the radio. Usually that's just a port for pressure testing, because these are like rugged waterproof radios that are actually pressure tested at Motorola. So, but this is a serious 4-pound radio. This thing is heavy as shit. It's a gnarly piece of equipment. So up here, when you program and flash your radio, you got 16 channels for your tops, and you got A, B, and C zones. So 16 times 3 is the maximum amount of easily accessible channels that you can program in this thing. It's pretty gnarly. I like the build quality. This one's about as good condition as you can get for what I paid for it. It's amazing that it's in this good condition, I must say. So when you turn it on, it's going to go through a self-test real quick, and then it'll turn on. So I have it set for Sac County Police Department, all 866 megahertz stuff, 850 to 875. This will go all the way up to 900 megahertz, but if you program outside of the zone range or outside of that set top limit, the radio may brick itself. So you really don't want to be doing that. So it's best to stay around 860 to 874 and not go any higher than that, and it'll accept the types. So this top button up here is for your light. At least it is for my flash code. You got your squelch or bottom button, so you can listen to you can uncap the squelch and listen to the air. Like you can hear really far away stations, and if you hold it, it'll stay that way. Click it again to turn it off. This button up here is for something. I don't know what the hell it's for. This button all the way up here is usually your IDEN digital emergency button. In the field, if this is used by security or police or even fire department or EMS medical, if they get hurt, they can press this button and it will send out the IDEN digital code signal for their radio back to dispatch and start the remote monitor function. So it will continue transmitting audio, letting them hear what's going on with you. So this I have set as the scan button. The little Z in there means it's scanning all your channels for this zone. And yeah, so if your flash code supports it, there's something called FPP, and it's an option that you can bake into the ROM, and it's called front panel programming. This allows you to literally punch in 866 frequencies on the radio without having to flash your radio. It's badass. So, these buttons are always going to be home, so that's how you back out. And this is your option button for options and stuff. These are always going to be different because they're soft buttons. Everyone's flash code's different. So, for example, if I click this, it's going to say it's not available because I don't have an Impress battery in there. But you see how like when I go there, it changes the soft buttons. So that's how you do that. So for me to not fuck up my flash, I always go to zone 3 if I want to do FPP, because these frequencies are for another county that aren't Sacramento. It's police and fire department, and it's 16 through 32 channels for B and C, so I can reprogram all of these. So what you do, if you know the frequency, you hit your password, and then you hit your zones, because you can select what zone you want to mess with. You can have 15 zones. So this radio can hold a shitload of channels, like a lot. All right, A, B, and C is zone 1, 2, and 3. So you hit 3 because we're on 3 with the switch, and you pick your channel, the one you want to program. So for me, that would be 32. For zone C, that'd be channel 132. So we hit view, and you can see your transmit frequency, your receive frequency, your transmission PL CSQ, receive digital PL tone if you're using digital P25 APCO, and also you can have your NAC, which I don't know what the hell that is, and you can select your audio receive type. So if it's a P25 APCO digital or FM analog, so you can do that left and right. And you got your bandwidth 12 and 25, I'm assuming. Yep. So just keep that at wide bandwidth. And then you can edit your channel names and program that. You can even program your names in. That's like super fat. It's T9, so you just hit it a few times to get your letters and numbers. And then you can even name your zones, which is like super fat. So, and protect means you can't overwrite it unless you double enter the password again, which is cool. It protects it, kind of hard burns it a little bit into the ROM. So that is a small overview of what FPP is on this type of radio. So not every Motorola XTS 5000 has this feature baked into the flash code. It's an option, and you have to ask the sysop to bake it into the flash code. So that's how you do that. I don't have extensive access into the certain menus that show like the versions and the self-tests and everything, but it does have FPP, and that's pretty much what I wanted this radio for, front panel programming. But yeah, if you are in the market for a killer radio, this is the 4-pound monster. Like, it's the best. I have never received a signal where it was scratchy. If it picks it up, it's always clear. So they make these in 866 megahertz band, ultra high band, and then they also make them in 440 to 520 UHF, and they also make them in VHF 140 to 174. So you can get this exact same radio in many different ice cream flavors. So the expensive thing is going to be the Impress battery and the charger. The whole shebang, this radio plus the battery and the charger, is going to be like $200 to $300 if it's in excellent condition like mine is. Also, like, there's a microphone that goes with this, but like I don't ever use it, so you know. But this is probably one of the best Motorola's ever made. It's built to withstand serious stuff, and it has a good power output. It's about 10.5 watts EIRP maximum. So there are menus for this radio, but I don't have access to them. So you know, you can check your zones and stuff, but other than that, like, there's not much I can do other than FPP, but that's fine with me. So if you want to pick up an 866 radio, you might want to check that out. You see that little speaker icon, and it disappears and it comes back? That's what this rocker is up here. When it's on, it's listening for all PL tones, and when it's off, It's listening for no channels that have PL tones. So basically keep that speaker on and keep your Z on, you know, like back to channel. There we go. Keep your speaker on, keep your Z on, and you'll be scanning and listening for all PL tones. So this is a small review of this radio. I'm gonna do range testing on it for a while. I'll probably get 4 or 5 miles out of it. These are no joke, some of the best radios that they make. That's why emergency service people use them. They're like extremely good. So it's Tech Baron out. Just wanted to talk about the front panel programming flash code feature for the specific radio. Please remember to comment, rate, subscribe if you have any questions regarding this system, and have a good one. Peace.